Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's really much else to do except for look at the elephant in the room. That's a straight up mermaid! I see. So this is the corpse in question, is it? Unusual is certainly one word for it. It's all dried up now, almost like it's been mummified. It is a mummified mermaid. But apart from that, it's pretty safe to say this is a mermaid, right? I like how casual he is. Let's take a closer look at it. That looks like a mermaid. As you can see, there's no doubt it has a human head. That's the main reason we went ahead with treating it as a corpse. That makes sense. I can't imagine anyone would have seen a creature like this before, after all. If it really is a mermaid, wouldn't this be a pretty huge discovery? It's not the sort of thing we'll be able to make public, that's for sure. I don't suppose we have any way of confirming their identity? Their identity? Given the state of the body, it'd probably be difficult to confirm based on facial features, but we might have a chance using dental records. Though that would depend on if they're ever had a dental exam, if they've ever had a dental exam. I see, that makes sense. Torso. It would seem like the fish half of the body begins from the shoulders downward. All the mermaids I've ever heard of have had the fish half start from the waist down. If it is a fake, maybe whoever made it didn't do their research? Really? Several of the mermaids described in old Japanese legends had their face as the only human part, though. Seriously? Guess that makes me the one who didn't do their research, then. The body's lower half is identical to a fish's tail. If this was a fish, it'd be a pretty huge one. Nothing on... Only one thing for the tail. Tell me more about the torso. This really is a corpse. I wonder when they died. I doubt their body would have ended up this desiccated if it had been in the sea this whole time. You think there's the possibility that they died shriveled up into a mummy-like state, then their body fell into the sea and got washed up here? It makes for quite the enigma, that's for sure. There's no sign of any external wounds. I can't see anything that could have caused their death, at least. They drowned, or they didn't get enough seawater. Honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards it being a fake of some kind. What do you think? It's true that many of the mermaid mummies discovered were ultimately found to have been man-made in origin. Yeah, talk about mermaid mummies. Oh, look at that weirdo! Look at it! Relics believed to be either the embalmment or mummified remains of mermaids are preserved in temples throughout Japan. Among them, several are said to bestow blessings such as eternal youth and longevity or sound health, and are treated as objects of worship. In the 1970s, some garnered so much attention after being featured on TV that people traveled en masse to see them, prompting some temples and shrines to discontinue public viewings. Mermaid mummies have also been documented in other countries. In the 1800s, the exhibition of mermaid mummies as exotic curios became a widespread phenomenon across Europe and the United States. Although these mummies were originally believed to be genuine, subsequent analysis has revealed fibers from materials such as wood and paper in their composition, exposing them to be man-made in origin. The quality of some mermaid mummies crafted in Japan during the Edo period was particularly high, with several being widely circulated, especially in Europe. However, the revelation that many of these mermaids were man-made does not disprove the existence of mermaids, and debate on the topic continues even today. Does debate on mermaids really continue? Like, to the extent of things like Nessie or Bigfoot? You won't find me complaining if it is, and no need to investigate a fake corpse after all. Maybe that's being too optimistic, though. I don't know. Like, even if it's a fake mermaid, I feel like the head half might be real. We'll just have to see about that, won't we? We'll keep looking at that head. When I first saw this expression, I thought they must have died in unbelievable agony. But at the same time, I can't help but feel like they look almost satisfied. Could just be my imagination, though. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Satisfied. Okay, well, we can talk to Soto and maybe he can do something, right? Vision mode, activate it. Vision mode's weird. I like that it highlights the sticker, though. Is there anything that stands out to you so far, Soto? I'd like to get a better grasp on the details before saying anything, I think. What the fuck, dude? Look at the head and tell me use your magic. Feast of Shadows, that bitch. You know what I mean? We really do have a mermaid on our hands. You think all those stories about becoming immortal from eating mermaid flesh are true? I really want to just start munching on this corpse. Oh, so you're curious about that too, detective? Well, I don't know if I'd actually want to eat it, though. Living forever doesn't necessarily mean you'll be happy, you know? Besides, I can't say I find the thought of eating meat from this thing all that appealing. I see. I suppose that's a natural response. But there are plenty of people who would be interested in getting their hands on this corpse for that exact reason. I can see that. We might even have people fighting over it if it gets out. All the more reason to try and keep it hidden. Let me think about mermaids. First things first, let's start by taking a good look at the corpse. By vision mode on. Mermaid activated. Okay, that's not gonna work. I didn't want to look at the surroundings, as beautiful as it is. Sure is a troublesome thing we've got on our hands here. I don't think there's anything else from you. Are you ready? Well, I think we have a decent grasp of the situation now. What's your opinion, Soto? First of all, based on the state of the corpse, I think it's safe to say this is another case of the curse of the forsaken fish. Some of the residual curse energy is still lingering around the body. Just as expected, then. I suppose that's no surprise. Huh? What was that just now? We'll try to explain our understanding of the case so far, Detective. I realize some of it might sound a bit absurd, but please bear with us. This corpse is neither a fake, nor could it be called a mermaid. It is the remains of a human, one transformed into a fish as a result of a curse. It's a bit more extreme than the curses from Seven Mysteries. What? A former human? And a curse too? It's pretty hard to know what to say to that. One thing's for sure, that's not gonna fly in the case report by itself. Mind explaining a bit more for me? Of course. Let's start with an explanation of our circumstances then. Okay, we're gonna get like a big event thing going on. Alright, department. First, I suppose I should start with a brief explanation of the department I work for. Wait, aren't you part of some secret department in the security division over in Tokyo? Are you sure you should be telling me something like that? I'm not gonna get caught up in any troublesome business if you do, am I? Haha, no need to worry. I doubt it will come to that. Probably. Our work is mostly kept a secret because it's something of a pain to find people who will accept, let alone understand, the circumstances each time. But you've been very supportive so far, so I can't imagine that will be a problem. Well, if you really insist, go ahead, I guess. As you say, my department is indeed part of the security division. Its proper name is the Paranormal Affairs Bureau. Okay, makes sense. That's kind of like the one reason I believe that like Mio possibly could show... Ooh, they got a logo now. Mio could potentially show up in one of these contained stories because it's like, oh, the Paranormal Affairs would just go to these things. And then like, I don't know, a bit of a stretch, but Richter as a private investigator could always show up. But I would kind of prefer if they didn't, just to get me more invested in the newer characters. Fuck, I didn't read the Paranormal Affairs. Where did it go? There it is. Although officially called the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department Security Division Paranormal Affairs Bureau, what the fuck is that name? It is more commonly referred to simply as Paranormal Affairs. Only a handful of people know of its existence, even within the police force, which I kind of find hard to believe considering every Paranormal Affairs people we've talked to kind of likes to just spill the beans. As the name suggests, the unit specializes in the investigation and resolution of cases involving paranormal phenomena. Since the existence of such happenings is not public knowledge, nor is it readily believed by the general population. The Bureau's activities are conducted in the utmost secrecy. As there are currently only 5 members in the unit, including the chief, they utilize a network of psychic contacts across the country to assist with their cases. There's really only 5 members? Was that brought up before? And then the chief was that, like, mysterious Nakagashi, I think, actually. The current chief of Paranormal Affairs is a man named Kuro Nakagashi. The Nakagashi cases, that's what they were called before. Well, those two have been born into a family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal... Was that the name... Was that the name that was on File 23 in Mystery... 7 Mysteries? Because there was a name attached to that, and I just kind of didn't think of about it until just now. Although Sadu have been born to the family of psychics who have been involved in keeping the world safe from paranormal phenomenon for generations, Kuru is an elusive figure. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that this is because he has... I wouldn't want this at all, but can you imagine if Nakagashi is just a storyteller? And that's, like, the gist of it. I feel like the storyteller really needs to be a ambiguous being, though. So I think I would be a little bit upset if that was the case. Very few have met him in person, and he is rarely seen in the office. It is said that this is because he has oft been the target of curses. However, some theorize that it is in fact because Kiru is not actually a flesh and blood human, with some going so far as to question whether he really exists. His seat in his office is usually occupied by his familiar, a Nu, a legendary creature found in Japanese folklore. The Nu resembles an ordinary white thrush and acts as Kiru's messenger, leading to bizarre scenes of police officers earnestly reporting their findings to a bird. The term Nakagashi case serves as a codename used to refer to cases under the investigation by Paranormal Affairs. Jeez, the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, huh? Though, if there really are cases of spiritual phenomena causing harm around the place, I guess it's not that hard to believe there'd be some sort of organization to deal with them within the police. Precisely. I'm glad you're so quick on the uptake. Well, after seeing that corpse over there, there's not much else I can do but believe it, you know? Oh, does that mean you have spirit sense, or some other sort of psychic powers? Not to any notable degree, I'm afraid. As I mentioned, I'm primarily a housewife. I have vision, though. Can we talk about vision? If you ask me, I would rather sort this all out and get back home to my husband as soon as possible. Right. Soda here was my husband's protege when he used to work as a psychic, though. He helps me out on any work I'm assigned to. Dude, it looks like he's doing like cosplay or something. I'm responsible for handling any spiritual work that comes up, yes. Spiritual work, huh? Hearing you say that like it's just another job really makes me feel we're talking about another industry entirely. But if you really are just a housewife, Miss Shiki, why are you working for a special unit like that? I know it's none of my business, but if your husband is a psychic, wouldn't all this be more in his line of work? True, personally, I'd also rather our roles were reversed. But there are several reasons why that unfortunately can't be the case. I see, I don't really know your circumstances, but it sounds pretty tough. Either way, I should be good to put this down as a paranormal affairs case, right? I should be good? It should be, probably. I don't know. That sounded weird. That should be fine, yes. You can leave the rest of the investigation to us. We'll also handle the report. More specifically, Soto will. Look, what is Soto's face right there? Soto does not look like he wants to do the report. He's freaking out. He's bugging out right now. Really? Thanks. That's a great help. Not again. Profile update. I am still curious about her seemingly realizing that we did something as the player, though. A woman who balances her work as a housewife with her position as a full-time employee of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, secret department within the Tokyo Metropolitan Police. Although the very image of a refined lady in appearance, she has a surprisingly free-spirited personality and tends to find anything she has no interest in too bothersome to take seriously. Things that do catch her attention, on the other hand, often command all of it, and she will actively involve herself in looking into them. She utterly adores her husband, swooning in admiration whenever the topic turns to him. And she is also viewed with affection by her co-workers, who call her ma'am. Out of the 5 current full-time members of the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, Yumeko alone lacks any particular metaphysical abilities despite possessing a meager degree of spiritual sense. Even so, she was chosen to be part of the Bureau's elite unit for very particular reasons known only to a handful of people close to her. There was once one other member of the Bureau who had no paranormal powers to speak of, veteran police detective Tetsuo Sutsumi. Sorry, I got so excited that he showed up. Sutsumi, and the two occasionally worked on investigations together. When dispatched on assignments now, she always pairs up with freelance psychic detective Soto Kiro, leaving all paranormal affair related procedures and often her much despised paperwork to him. Yumeko's husband is also a psychic by the name of Itinsai Shiki, and Soto is his cherished protege. So Soto is not a part of the Bureau. And obviously, Tsutsumi is former. Mio wasn't actually employed by them either. So, I'm just curious. So we don't really know a lot of the people that work on that, but there's only 5 apparently. File update. Psychic and spiritual sense. The various normal occurrences attributed to the spirits of the dead are collectively referred to as spiritual phenomena. These can range from small peculiarities, such as being able to see things that shouldn't be there, hearing strange sounds, or feeling a sudden unnatural chill, to large-scale phenomenon powerful enough to defy the laws of physics, potentially even triggering natural disasters. That's scary. Don't do that. Harmful spiritual phenomenon that cause unwanted effects by interfering with nature or tampering with the human bodies or minds are called curses. Curses can themselves be divided into 2 categories: those that occur naturally, often arising from negative emotions such as deep resentment from the dead, and those that are intentionally created by someone with spiritual abilities, using an existing spirit or grudge. However, creating a curse is quite difficult, and there is the risk of the curse rebounding and causing harm to the creator instead. The more powerful the curse, the more stringent the conditions that are required to use it. So I'm wondering if we're gonna basically get a similar setup to the 7 mysteries with like that, because it's like, you know, conditions and curses and all that jazz. The ability to sense the energy of spirits and spiritual phenomenon is known as spirit sense. The strength of this ability varies from person to person, and while it can be increased to a certain extent through training, it ultimately comes down to the individual's innate talent. According to those who have it, spirit sense is similar to a sense of smell. I really thought they were going to talk about alcohol. It's similar to how many booze you can hold. The lingering spiritual energy in an area can be detected by what feels like specialized sense organs, conveying information such as the relative strength of the phenomenon and whether it is benevolent or malevolent. In the nature, I can't talk. I need to stop this, but I need to finish this chapter. Those with a particularly potent spirit sense are also able to glean specific details from the energy, and even track it down to identify its origin. However, as spiritual energy is unaffected by air movement, it is not possible to use wind to drive it away. The ability to see spiritual phenomenon is considered a psychic ability, further described below. Spiritual phenomenon occurs regardless of one's ability to perceive them, so many people that lack spirit sense are affected by such phenomenon without any awareness of the cause. As spirit sense is impossible to quantify, comparing its strength between individuals is difficult. However, as tolerance to forcible exposure to spiritual phenomenon is comparable to a tolerance to alcohol, there it is! There are those who use this comparison when explaining to others, and that... Those explaining that comparison confused me and made me think that there were 2 characters that were more closely related than they were. Psychic abilities is a special power to interact with or influence spirits. It covers a wide range of abilities, from simply being able to see spirits or being able to directly control or exercise them. It also includes the ability to intentionally induce spiritual phenomenon in order to use specific skills such as peering into the future, capturing images with psychic photography, or searching for objects using dowsing. Individuals who possess such abilities are known as psychics. People who possess spiritual sense but lack psychic abilities are particularly susceptible to the influence of spiritual phenomenon, whether they are aware of it or not, and as such often fall victims to supernatural disasters or disturbances. Okay, God, I forgot we were in the conversation. Oh, fuck! Talk about the spirit sense. You know, I sometimes find myself wondering if I have a bit of spirit sense as well. There have been times I've caught sight of strange things when walking down the road at night. And when I looked into it later, I found that the place I'd walked by had been the site of an accident or the likes. Oh, that might be the real deal then. It's definitely a possibility. I would advise not going too close to anything you see of that nature. It becomes easier for them to target you if they realize you're aware of them, you see. Geez, what would happen then? I guess I'll end up possessed or something? There is that danger, yes, in the event you are possessed. You may find yourself afflicted by headaches, muscle stiffness, and hallucinations. Memory problems and impaired thinking are also not unheard of. Headaches and muscle stiffness definitely rings a bell. I sure hope it isn't the work of some spirit. Do people have their personalities taken over when possessed too? It may be possible with spirits who had a very close relationship to their target, such as if they were siblings or were parents and children. But you almost never hear about people being taken over completely. The negative effects I just mentioned are primarily caused by the two parties not being in sync. That's good to know, I think. Even if a spirit were able to successfully possess someone, it would only be able to pressure them to behave in ways that wouldn't be unusual for the individual in question. I see, but in that case, there's no way of knowing whether you're behaving the way of your own will or not, right? Exactly, hence the prevalence of cases where people don't even realize they're possessed. Huh, so that's how things work there. As far as I know, I haven't been having any problems like that, though, so I think I should be fine. I don't know, something about the way Soto talks sounds like someone who's like LARPing as a psychic. I don't know if it's just because of his demeanor or how he's dressed, but that's just how I feel. I can't imagine like him working with paranormal affairs and being able to fake it though. We'll keep talking. Curses. Still, I never would have thought that there's a curse out there that can turn people into fish. It only half worked, so the victim ended up looking like a mermaid. That's bound to cause misunderstandings. The curse is originally meant to turn a person's whole body into that of a fish, you see. But the victim died before the transformation was complete, so it stopped before it could reach that point. The vast majority of the mermaids discovered over the years are either man-made fakes or victims of the same curse. I see. To be honest, part of me was kind of excited when I first saw what it looked like. I thought that it might mean there are really mermaids out there, you know? Exactly like the ones you hear about in stories. I'm bummed that I don't hear that it's not a real mermaid, but I also just learned that like ghosts and shit are real. So like, you know, Ide should maybe be a bit more hyped. I'm afraid we can neither confirm or deny things there. Oh, I get why you were asking about the corpse's identity now. It's because you realize they used to be human, right? That's right. Very recently, too, the transformation likely happened yesterday or even earlier today. What? That recently? Someone could really end up in a state like this after just a day? They certainly could. Seriously? These curses sure are scary. I'll get forensics to take a look when they get here then. Please do. The investigator in question has worked on paranormal affairs cases before, so they shouldn't need any explanation. Alright, the case from yesterday. Great. That should save us some effort then. The case from yesterday? I don't know, that seems weird. Just saying that it happened yesterday, I guess, but... I'll let you handle the explanation, ma'am. Of course, leave it to me. In return, I'll be counting on you to handle the report. Oh, confound it. Go, Stone. He's a bit of a silly fella. Maybe he is a real psychic. What do you think? Seems the time has come to explain our circumstances to Detective Ide. I'll have to make sure not to leave anything out. So, does that mean that you came all the way to Mai because you knew something like this was going to happen? Oh, that's awfully perceptive of you, Detective. I suppose you could say that, yes. At the very least, the situation hasn't come as a huge surprise. Ah, if that's the case... Was the body from the other day... Fuck, that's what he meant by yesterday. Was the body from the other day one of those cases too, then? Unidentified skeletons. It was indeed, yes. Are we gonna, like, ever go forward in time? Seriously, that does sound like a pain to deal with. I bet our chief knew all about this when he assigned me to the case. If it lessens the burden, you've been a great help to us so far, Detective. And we still haven't even, like, gotten into vision ability. Having spirit sense seems like it's more trouble than it's worth somehow. Okay, that's all you have to say about that. Cursed one day, a mummified corpse the next. Sure is a scary world we live in. I'm kind of glad it's a quick snippet. I don't mind occult stuff, so I've been asking all these questions out of curiosity. But it's probably best I don't get too involved in all this paranormal business, right? All this paranormal activity, you know? You must have had a good reason for keeping it under wraps after all. I think that would be wise, yes. Ma'am? What is it? Perhaps I could use my Shagan ability and see if it produces any results. You should have led with that, dude. I was waiting for you to do it. Ah, that's an excellent idea. I almost forgot we had such a handy trick up our sleeve. Shagan? What does that do? Patience, Detective. We'll see soon enough. Right. There, it's done. I didn't get to see it, it just made a sound. Oh? So it went well, did it? Well done, Soto. What's all this about then? Soto can see the face of the deceased from a piece of their remains, however small. He can then sketch their features based on what he saw. Ah, so that's how you got a sketch of the victim in that other case. An ability like that would be priceless if we could use it on the Force, you know. Well, I hear it doesn't always work, so it's unfortunately not foolproof. So, what did our victim look like? It looks like the mom. About that, I think it might be faster to see for yourself. Yeah? This face. It's Samakawa. Wait, Samakawa? You can't mean... Samakawa? Why did it do it like that? Why did it spread so far? I don't also fully understand. I guess... No. I guess I don't understand. There might be some importance to the location of these. Because I would assume the timeline follows suit. Right? Mostly. Like, I mean, advice happened. Then they showed up to find Yuza. Not Yuza, but, you know, Azami and Yuza here. And then they're doing stuff going along this path. But, like, we're not on the island in these cases, right? So this shouldn't be this far ahead. Unless if it happened after more normal events. But then also, why is recollection having us go into the future? I guess I'm just saying that's stuff that I'm curious about, but I'm also... My voice is dying, so I'm gonna have to do that later. It's later. Now, as much as I really want to figure out this stuff, because it seems like the crux of the big mystery is, like, mermaid from a cursed object, unidentified skeletons, let's try to just kind of go down the list of characters until we can't. Like, obviously, we don't have anything for Sato at the moment, but we'll see what happens. I'm assuming this top row is the, like, let's say, quote-unquote, good ending route. I guess we could read it. Extremely against Yuza becoming an Ama diver. Behind his deceased mother is the reason for this, and that is also the key to finding the mermaid, so he begins a full-scale search. That kind of sounds like that's the, not talking about the whole ending. Look at... the promised day arrives after their usual morning dive. The group of four meet at the docks. Alright, so this is the one where we do talk about the whole, which makes sense then. So, I'm sure there's much reason to see this one. I feel like, at the very least, because this looks like we're doing the map stuff, we will at least meet a lot of characters that are going to be important, which means I have to read a lot more profiles, but we'll see how it goes. True, if there's any time to ask about your mom, it's now. I think we should see what Old Man Wakamura and Tsuyu have to say about all this, too. Yeah, assuming Gran agrees to talk about it. Anyway... Yep, definitely the supposed bad ending. I kind of want to just explore casually. I'm curious as to what we might find, like this weird clock. Oh, like that dreamboat. Well, if it isn't Shotaro. Hey there, you two. Just the men I wanted to see. You wouldn't happen to have seen Sato around, would you? Oh. Sato? No, I haven't seen her today. She was supposed to meet with me earlier, but she never showed. She didn't show? Did something happen? Oh, I'm sure it was just because of my old man's ridiculous request earlier. Honestly, I don't know what he was thinking. Still, he really has been acting off lately. Can't believe he'd say something like that. Oh, I love vague posting. Is something wrong? Oh, pardon me, it's nothing for you two to worry about. By the way, Yuza, I hear you've become an Ama diver? Word gets around fast. Ah, yes, but I was told to stop, so I'm currently on extended, if not permanent, leave. Haha, oh, don't let it get to you. I, for one, think you should go for it. I imagine everyone's been using your mother as an excuse, saying she brought bad luck to the island or some such. Wow, that's exactly it. It's like everyone in this small town, like, talks about the same shit. Not that surprising. Do you know why everyone keeps saying Yuza's mom was a bad omen, Shotaro? We read the profile. We basically know why. Oh, yes. What was it again? Something about her being the Raging Waves curse bearer. Okay. The what? Raging Waves? The Raging Waves curse bearer. I feel like every time that they say Raging Waves curse bearer, it should have the singer music. Raging Waves is, well, exactly what you think it means, and the curse bearer has the power to call forth that calamity of the sea. What is that face, Shotaro? My old man was going on about it earlier, but it's probably just superstitious nonsense. Don't pay it any mind. Ah, but I really should get going. Let me know if you see Sato, okay? See you later, alligator. Did he wink? Maybe it was just because his hair was in the way of his other eye. Ah. I'm pretty curious about what Shotaro said. Yeah, the Raging Waves curse bearer, huh? Did people really see my mom that way? Maybe we should ask Mr. Wakamura what he knows. It's worth a shot, at least. Anyway, let's keep moving. Oh, that was the end of that journey. I mean, it's definitely worth going to these couple of spots just because we are obviously getting fuel to question. I don't think that's really the right way to say that. We're getting ammunition to shoot out questions at the target. There we go. That's the metaphor I'm looking for. Seems like there's a bit of commotion over there. Maybe they know something about the rumors? Want me to go ask? That'd be great. Thanks. Hey, what's up? Did something happen? Oh, but it isn't Azami. I don't know if you've heard, but 15 minutes later, what a conversation. Was like Yuza just like kicking rocks and drawing in the sand, waiting Welcome back. Man, once they get started, they never stop talking. Anyway, nothing about your mom, I'm afraid, but they did have some interesting things to say. Interesting things? Do you want the normal news first or the worrying news? Give me the bad news first. Let's hear the worrying news. Okay then. There are reports that 2 Ama divers have gone missing. Apparently both cases were around Jika town on the mainland. Oh, were they diving accidents or something? I guess so. Seems it's still under investigation though. The sea hasn't been that rough lately. But I guess it is a dangerous job, so you never know what might happen. Still, 2 Ama divers going missing one after another is pretty unusual, so it does make you wonder. It wasn't that long ago there was all that talk of human bones being found in the sea near Toba, you know? I remember that, yeah. Isn't that also near Jika? Maybe this is why Chie was going on about bad omens? Yeah, it's definitely worrying news. Now give me basic bitch news. How about the normal news? So we've got a bunch of tourists visiting right now as usual. But what's really got people talking is that there are 2 foreigners among them today. Oh, really? Are there not that many foreign tourists around? Oh, really? I hear the Ise Grand Shrine sees a lot of foreign visitors, but it's unusual for them to come to the outlying islands like this. I guess that answers my question. What's more, it seems they've been going around asking a bunch of questions. And get this. Apparently they said they've come here looking for mermaids. Mermaids? Is that normal news? Curious, right? Yeah, right when we were looking into them too. And that's not all. For some reason, they were asking about your mom, Mare Minakuchi, too. What? This is the normal news? This is like the more important news for what we're trying to do right now. I get that, like, Ami divers going missing is bad, but, like, you know, for our immediate reasoning, this seems like the more important news. What? But why would foreign visitors be asking about my mom? Seems like people think they're pretty shady. I was told not to go near them and everything. No, I definitely want to hear what they have to say. I wonder where they are now. They're probably still on Kameshima, at least, though the question is where. Well, I guess if we see 2 Westerners around, we'll know who they are, eh? Apparently they're an older man and a young girl. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sure we'll know them when we see them. I hope we manage to find them. Okay, looks like that's all the info we're going to get around here. Not going to be able to look around for stickers. Let's try going somewhere else. I thought they would be, how far up can I go? A lot further up? Not that much further up. Not that much at all. I thought, let me just make sure I get the names. I thought it was, Yumiko and Soto, which I thought was strange, because I was like, they're not that much foreigner, right? But they're, yeah, obviously they're at least Japanese, and I guess we're going to meet some Westerners. Exciting stuff. What was it, an older man and a young girl? Yeah, older man and a young girl, okay. Interesting stuff. I guess we'll, what happens if I go back to Town Clock? Doesn't look like anyone's here right now. Let's try somewhere else. Yeah, let's go. Who would waste their time going back to Town Clock? Bunch of freaks is who. There they are, the foreigners. Huh? Ah. Wow. Did she get dumped or like... Tsukasa? Sato, what's going on? I guess not dumped, rejected. Well... I'm sorry, I can't explain right now. She's got, like, snot coming out of her nose. I feel bad for her, but come on. Tsukasa, come on. We're drawing too much attention here. Wah! Hey! What was that all about? Something was definitely up with them. Yeah, they practically ran off when they saw us. Tsukasa was crying. What the hell could have happened? I'm worried too, but Sato said she can't explain right now. I'm sure that means they'll tell us what's up later. True, we shouldn't grill them if they're not ready to talk about it. Still, I get the feeling we probably shouldn't tell Shotaro we saw Sato here. Yeah, let's keep this to ourselves until we learn a bit more. What did Shotaro say specifically? It's so far up. Oh, we're not gonna see it. Because I guess if he was looking for Sato, it could have been Sato saying to come visit because of the whole love letter thing. So he might have already found them, but I don't know. I feel like we have more to get out of Wakamura right now. And I think he's more likely to give us it, well, except for Chie being here. You two again? What are you doing here? Ah, Chie's here too. We're chatting about something important right now. Scram! Guess we've got no choice but to come back later, huh? Damn, I guess I was told to fuck off. Back to the jetty.